For many, unmanned drones are still mostly strongly associated with the military. But for amateur and professional filmmakers, these small flying machines are the perfect tools for capturing footage that would previously have been impossible without a big budget and a helicopter.
Drones, the misnomer really, it's been used by the military for what they do, but these multi-rotor systems are simply things that can lift something and go in the air wherever. So you get all of 3D space to put a camera into, which just opens up a whole new realm of possibilities for filmmakers and storytellers around the world.
The amount of control that you have is way more than you can ever have with an actual helicopter, because this thing you can come down, 1 foot away, maybe 5 foot away from your subject and take it 500 feet away as well. So, the kind of range that you get is a lot more than what you'd be able to get. And stability is absolutely brilliant.
With the potential to produce mesmerizing bird's eye view, drones such as these are making it possible to see the world from new angles. And in the process, revolutionizing filmmaking altogether.
We really think that the advantage of the drone is that you can have any sort of dynamic movement with very little setup or equipment to go along. So imagine going to a faraway shoot, any sort of location, where you can't really carry a whole rig, you can't carry a crane, you can't carry a jib. Your drone can do the same job.
These remote-controlled, custom-built, carbon fiber-based drones, also known as multi-rotor drones, are designed by the very talented team at Quidditch, an Indian company that specializes in aerial drone filming.
The ones we use at Quidditch are multi-rotor drones. Of course, the main or the factor that depends on which these drones, the function or the functionality of them depends more on the kind of payload or the kind of weight they can carry, which in turn depends on the number of rotors or the kind of power output or the torque output that the rotor gives.
In fact, it were these very same multi-rotor drones, a technology that was adapted and used by a news channel for the very first time. Breaking the monotony of sit-down one-on-one interviews, Headlines Today and Team Quidditch got you a different angle, a different perspective to the 2014 Indian elections.
To do an entire election coverage from the sky is something that not everybody thinks about. And what it did for Election Express, what it did for us and what it did for Headlines Today was absolutely brilliant, because the kind of shots we were able to get was something that hasn't been seen before. The rallies that we've covered, people on the social networking, people were just going wild, doing calculations based on how many people attended rallies, looking at the footage that we would put up or the images that we would put up on Twitter. And it was an experiment that was absolutely brilliant. Other channels were very envious of it because they couldn't then use it because it would look like a copy. And at the same time, they really, really wanted it because it was something new that hadn't been done in the news before.
While roughly the same size as some radio-controlled helicopters sold at toy shops, these are certainly not toys. The drones are constructed to cradle and lift cinema-quality cameras, and their size and agility enable camera operators to fly them into spaces where humans and full-size aircrafts can't follow.
So at Quidditch we fly all kinds of cameras. For smaller productions we've got our GoPros that can do sort of really dynamic movements all around small spaces, and then we go all the way up to film cameras and 5Ds and things like that. Depending on what the production requires, we've got an entire technical team that builds the drone for that particular need.
And don't worry, the camera won't fall off while the drone is in flight. This is because the camera mount is capable of stabilizing the camera in air and keeping it level within the horizon line, regardless of the drone's movements.
The scale of things is where the shot of a drone basically adds to what your production value already is. Our cameras that we fly also have stabilization softwares with which we can ensure that at any angle or any kind of shot that you want, the camera is as stabilized as rock solid.
Other innovations include a wireless video downlink system that connects the camera to the ground, that supports live camera feed viewing, so production crews can see everything the drone is filming. But this technology is not just limited to filmmaking and media. Quidditch is now focusing its efforts on developing equipment for other industrial sectors as well.
So at Quidditch, we believe a lot in innovation. We've got an entire technology team that is seeing where else the application of these multi-rotor systems can be used. So we're looking at other industries like agriculture and solar and surveying and architecture and things like that, where not restricting ourselves just to the film business. That is at the moment a business that is really picking up and doing very well. But innovating for other industries as well, where we can use these systems to sort of hit the pain points and make life easier for those industries.
It seems with Team Quidditch, the sky is the limit, quite literally. And if you budding filmmakers are still not convinced about this technology's awesomeness, then just take a look at some of these breathtaking visuals from Headlines Today's new show, Ganga Sutra.